before we begin the first tournament of the year, we want to take a moment to thank Spoolheads. If you're looking to make your own racetracks, or even improve the ones you already have, so that you can have the most epic races with your own vehicles as possible, we definitely recommend checking out Spoolheads. Here you will see a sneak peek of some of the racetrack pieces that they can make just for you. It may take a couple weeks or so to get to you, but I promise you the wait will be worth it. You will see some of the track pieces being used in this tournament. So not only will you get a sneak peek here, but you'll also get to see some of them in action. But now it's time for the first tournament of the year. And it is a mail-in tournament, so thank you to everybody who submitted a racer. In our first group today, the first group for the new tournament, the first one of 2024, we have number 1, Little Fritter, at 3.84 ounces. Number 2, Arlo, 3.71 ounces. And number 3, Bolo Brown, 2.75 ounces. And number 4, Papa Pugsley, at 2.52 ounces. These 4 are ready to go, so let's see what happens. And I don't know about you, but number 3, Bolo Brown, kind of looks like what would happen if Batman Beyond had a bus. I don't know if that's oddly specific, but hey, that's just me. So just for fun, put hashtag BatBus in the comments, because if Batman can have anti-shark repellent, he can have a bus. Right now, though, in this very first race, Little Fritter and Arlo are on one part of the track, whereas Bolo and Papa are in the other half. And now we're getting into the final stretch here, and it looks like Fritter and Arlo are going back and forth. Arlo has a block and is able to get the first win of this tournament so far. Here come the other two, and Bolo finishes in front of Papa Pugsley. By the way, if I ever pronounce one of the names wrong, please feel free to let me know, because the last thing I want to do is mispronounce somebody's name. And they start off with a 16.71. We'll see if that's a good time compared to future races or not. But right now, Arlo gets the first win with Little Fritter right behind him. Now the other two did finish in the back, but things could change depending on which lane that they're in. We've seen that happen before. We'll start off relatively even. Let's see if this split will change things up a bit. Closer to us, we have Pugsley and Fritter. And they go into the second turn. Everyone's just about even. In fact, Arlo is back out in front again, but Fritter is trying to take that lead back. They're all staying relatively close together, but Bolo Brown is falling behind just a little bit. Now Fritter has the lead, and Arlo's actually in third. Papa Pugsley is coming out of nowhere. I think he got the win at the last possible moment. If that's the case, that is a great finish. That just shows that it's never over until it's actually over. This time they finished with a 17.22, so that was a little bit slower. But that definitely helps Papa Pugsley, who finished in last in the first race. So here we go into heat number 3 this time. And now nobody is really out at this point after that finish. Now Pugsley is slightly behind this time, but if he can pull off a comeback like he just did, he'll be just fine. Or she. Right now it's actually Bolo Brown who's out in front, but Fritter's right next to him. And in going into this turn, Bolo's starting to skid a little bit, but he's still keeping up with the other two, and he's trying to keep that alive. And here he goes, staying in second while Arlo takes the win again. And Bolo seems to have trouble staying upright after they finish. But they did get second place, so that definitely helps them. And Arlo finishes in first again, but since they didn't finish in first all 3 times so far, it's not a guaranteed moving on. But they're definitely in a better position than the other 3, who are just about even in points. I think they're about 1 or 2 points off from each other. So who moves on, most likely with Arlo, could heavily depend on where they finish here. Right now, Arlo is slightly in front, it looks like, but those camera angles can be a bit tricky. Bolo is trying to push his way in front, but is struggling to do so. And Furrer is trying to catch up to Arlo here. But Arlo is slowly pulling away, going into this final turn where the tracks will merge together. And there's no one to be seen, no one to challenge Arlo, who finishes in first, Bolo in second, Pugsley in third. And let's see, there he is. There's Fritter. I'm actually not sure who's going to be moving on. I'm pretty sure Arlo will be one of them. But based on those finishes, let's see who will be joining them. 16.44, by the way, I believe that is currently the fastest time we've had. But I'm sure we'll see faster at some point. It'll be Pugsley moving on with Arlo. So those two will be moving on into the final race. Let's see who the second group is. At number 5, we have Black Skull, 1.29 ounces. Cool name, by the way. Number 6, Chase Family, 2.7 ounces. At number 7, Puff, 2.82 ounces. And number 8, Danny MG, 3.5 ounces. Oh, Daniel MG. Okay, maybe I missed the L the first time, but Daniel MG at number 8. So I'm loving the designs on some of these vehicles. Thank you to everyone who submitted one. Let's see how this fares out. Right now, it is the Chase family who is out in front with Black Skull right behind them. But Chase family is quickly pulling away. No one else is even on camera at the moment. The other three are trying to catch up. Chase family skids a little bit, but they manage to re-straighten themselves out. And they go into this first win without much of a problem at all. And here comes Black Skull finishing in second. And the other two, Puff blocked Daniel and allowed themselves to finish in third at least, while Daniel MG finishes in fourth. But maybe Daniel MG will have an opportunity like Papa Pugsley and make an incredible comeback. Right now, though, Chase family now has the fastest time with 15.86. So this is definitely ramping up a bit. It's definitely interesting to see how this track plays out, because for the most part, it's basically a 1v1 on two separate parts of the track, and then they merge near the end, and that could immediately switch things up in an unexpected way. Right now, Chase family's out in front again, but now it's Daniel MG trying to make up that ground. Like I said, just like with Papa Pugsley, anything can happen. They can make an incredible comeback. And here he comes. Chase family's trying to hold on to that lead. It looks like they will. And they do. And who finishes in second? This time it's Daniel MG, with Black Skull finishing in third and Puff in fourth. If this keeps up, who knows who'll move on. But Chase family is definitely putting themselves in a good position already with 2 wins under their belt. If they get one more, they will automatically move on to the final group race of today. But for the other 3, it is a very tough competition. They are trying to knock out Chase family, if nothing else, so that they can keep their hopes alive, or at least keep their odds higher of moving on. In this third race, though, Chase family is once again out in front. But here comes Puff this time. Although that turn may have killed a little bit of their speed. We've seen in previous tournaments that wide turns can make all the difference in a race, even at the last moment. But here comes Chase family. No one is anywhere near them. And they finish in first once again, kind of skidding sideways and flipping towards the end. And we have a 3-way traffic jam at the finish line. I want to say Black Skull finished in second, Puff possibly in third? I'm not entirely sure, but we do know that the Chase family is automatically going to move on. It was Black Skull in second, Puff in third, and Daniel MG in fourth. So the Chase family is automatically going to move on And Black Skull, I believe, currently has the better odds of the other three. But given the point differentiation, it's not guaranteed. Chase Family is now just trying to get a sweep at this point. And based on their performance so far, it looks like they might. Because right now, they're going towards the final stretch and no one is even in sight. We barely get glimpses of the other races, and Chase Family decides to go backwards and finishes off by showing off a little bit. But here comes Daniel MG. And then Puff in third and Black Skull in fourth. That could make all the difference. Did Daniel MG get the second spot and join Chase Family in today's finals? All these different finishes for all these racers. But it's actually Black Skull that will be moving on. A valiant effort by the other racers. We're sorry your racer did not win, but it was definitely a valiant effort. Very close on all accounts. But here we go into this final group. We have Arlo, Papa Pugsley, Black Skull, and Chase Family. Right now, Chase Family is the only racer here who has not lost a race. Arlo got very close, but Chase Family is the only one to have officially done it so far, and they already have the lead once again. Will any of these other racers be able to catch them? It actually looked like Black Skull was slowing down significantly. I don't know if they're going to finish. But Chase Family does finish in first yet again, with Arlo not too far behind them. And here comes Pugsley. Did Black Skull finish, or are they going to? No, they got stuck up there. This is definitely not what they want, I'm sure. But Chase Family has been shown to finish under 16 seconds, and they got very close that time around. Now, Papa Pugsley finished in third, but they've been shown that they can make comebacks. And we also want to let you know that it'll be the top two moving on from today's finals, and not just the person who finishes in first overall. So even if you don't get the highest amount of points today, that doesn't mean you're completely out. If you at least finish in second, you still have a shot to win the whole thing. It's still looking very good for the Chase Family though, as they are still out in front. The closest person to them, I believe, is Arlo, but even then, they can barely be seen on the track. And here comes Chase Family down the hill towards the finish line, gets another win. And here comes Arlo, finishing in second yet again. Pugsley in third, and Black Skull manages to finish this time. Definitely improvement already. Let's see if they can pull another big comeback out of nowhere. And there we go. I think that is the new fastest time, with a 15.55. If the Chase Family wins again, they will once again automatically move on and have a chance at a complete sweep and be totally undefeated up to this point. Right now, Black Skull has a lot of motivation to make this incredible comeback, and they are keeping up with Chase Family currently, but Chase Family is somehow increasing their speed, getting a decent-sized lead. Black Skull is holding on to second place from what I can tell, and Chase Family is going down this stretch while the other three are just getting around that turn back there. Going into this final turn now, back down the hill. Chase Family is once again finishing backwards, likely just to show off, but they want to be careful in doing that in the future. We've seen people show off and it costs them greatly. But they do finish in first again, so they will automatically move on. Let's see who the second racer will be that will join them. And even with going backwards, they still finished under 16 seconds. Arlo did finish in second again, so it's likely going to be Chase Family and Arlo. But Pugsley or maybe Black Skull can pull something off incredible that we just don't expect. Previous tournaments have shown me not to count anybody out until it's officially over. Chase Family already has a decent-sized lead, but Arlo is trying to keep up with them. And it looked like they were for a second, but here comes Papa Pugsley. The other three are keeping relatively close together. Chase family hops just a little bit, but that didn't seem to slow them down all that much. Here they come into this final stretch. Once again, no one is anywhere near them. Can they stay straight? Finish in first? They do! They can't seem to get a steady landing as they cross the finish line. But Black Skull finishes in third ahead of Pugsley. So they definitely were getting better as the races progressed. But it looks like it will be Chase family, who is now undefeated, and Arlo moving on. Just the first day of races and we already have an undefeated racer. Chase family and Arlo, congratulations. Thank you to everybody else who submitted a car. And we hope to see you all in the next day of this mail-in tournament. Take care and have a great 2024.